Of course, we've all been down this road before. My Republican friends love constitutional amendments. For any complaint, there's a constitutional amendment. It is not, however, a free vote. If adopted, this proposed amendment would have catastrophic consequences for the nation, for the economy, and for the future. While it would be nice to have some easy way to force a balanced budget, the world doesn't work that way. We know how to balance the budget because we've done it before. Under the Clinton administration, we balanced the budget, which would have remained in balance except for the reckless Bush administration's tax cuts and unfunded wars. In the not-too-distant past, we managed not only to balance the budget, but to run surpluses and begin paying down the debt. That's what you do in good times. You pay down the debt. Unfortunately, thanks to President Bush and a Republican Congress, we managed to turn record surpluses into record deficits in record time. How did we do it? There were the huge tax cuts for the very wealthy. There were the 2 wars fought off budget. I don't recall hearing a peep from any of my colleagues on the other side who are now born-again fiscal conservatives. In fact, Vice President Cheney said, "We've learned that deficits don't matter." That summed up the Republican attitude during the Bush administration. Having the regulators go to sleep while financial manipulators, banks, and hedge funds crashed the economy killed off revenues, and that's one of the main causes of our present budget crisis, in addition to those ongoing tax cuts. But rather than admit to serious economic mismanagement and looking for ways to straighten things out, we get this dusted-off quack remedy from the past. I guess it's easier to vote for something like this than to have to endure another town hall where angry constituents want to know why you voted to destroy Medicare. Strangest of all, the amendment calls for balancing the budget by 2016, even though the Republican budget the House recently passed doesn't project a balanced budget until 2040. The amendment would require a 3/5 vote by Congress to exceed a balanced budget. That should lead to some really history-making horse trading. Can you imagine what the holdouts, the ones that get you to 60%, will get in exchange for passing the budget? I would predict that if this goes into effect, in order to pass budgets, we'll need the 60%, and you will have monumental deficits to buy their votes and monumental earmarks to buy their votes. It will make anything we do now look like child's play. Really troubling is the proposal to require a 3/5 vote to raise the debt limit. Do the sponsors really want to reduce U.S. Treasury notes to junk bond status? Do you think anyone will buy our paper if this becomes law? I wouldn't. The amendment also treats military engagements as the only true emergencies requiring the budget to be out of balance. That shows a poor understanding of history and of economics. And by the way, given the proposal in the new defense authorization bill that came out of Armed Services, we're going to be at war all the time anyway. So this would totally negate this amendment. Did Herbert Hoover win the last election? If in the middle of a recession, when tax revenues are down and unemployment is up, we begin to slash the budget in ways my Republican colleagues are now suggesting, much less the far more draconian measures that this amendment would require, we'll go from the Great Recession right into another Great Depression. It's been tried before, and if we want the Constitution to enshrine Herbert Hooverism for all time, we will get what we deserve. We should know that in good times, you should balance budgets and pay down the debt. In bad times during recession, you should run deficits in order to prime the pump and get the economy running and put people back to work. Let's manage the budget the old-fashioned way, by making hard choices, by promoting growth, by making everyone pay their fair share of taxes, including billionaires and oil companies. It isn't fun, and it won't make us a lot of friends, but we've done it before and we can do it again. It only requires the courage of our own convictions to face the voters with the actual budget you are proposing. And I know how hard those town halls can be. I've held many of them myself, but that's the job. Let's get down to business and quit fooling around with proposals that could never be implemented with anything that the Congress, the Republicans for that matter, would be willing to vote for. Thank you. I yield back.